Well, he haunts these parts, he does, and when people are going to die, he comes and sits and howls." "Oh," said the little man. He looked out of the window and saw night making a million shadows. The little man moved his legs nervously. "I don't believe in these things," said he, addressing the slate-coloured man, who was scuffling with a side of pork. "What things?" came incoherently from the combatant. "Oh, these, phantoms and ghosts and what-not. All rot, I say." "That's because you have merely a stomach and no soul," grunted the pudgy man. "Oh, old Pudgkins," replied the little man, his back curved with passion. A tempest of wrath was in the pudgy man's eye. The final epithet used by the little man was a carefully studied insult, always brought forth at a crisis. They quarrelled. "All right, Pudgkins, bring on your phantom," cried the little man in conclusion. His stout companion's wrath was too huge for words. The little man smiled triumphantly. He had staked his opponent's reputation. The visitors sat silent. The slate-coloured man moved about in a small personal atmosphere of gloom. Suddenly a strange cry came to their ears from somewhere. It was a low, trembling call, which made the little man quake privately in his shoes. The slate-coloured man bounded at the stairway and disappeared with a flash of legs through the hole in the ceiling. The party below heard two voices in conversation, one belonging to the slate-coloured man, and the other in the quivering tones of age. Directly the slate-coloured man reappeared from above and said, "The old man is took bad for his supper." He hurriedly prepared a mixture with hot water, salt, and beef. Beef tea, it might be called. He disappeared again. Once more the party below heard, vaguely, talking over their heads. The voice of age arose to a shriek. "Open the window, fool! Do you think I can live in the smell of your soup?" Mutterings by the slate-coloured man and the creaking of a window were heard. The slate-coloured man stumbled down the stairs and said with intense gloom, "The black dog'll be along soon." The little man started, and the pudgy man sneered at him. They ate a supper and then sat, waiting. The pudgy man listened so palpably that the little man wished to kill him. The wood fire became excited and sputtered frantically. Without, 1,000 spirits of the winds had become entangled in the pine branches and were lowly pleading to be loosened. The slate-coloured man tiptoed across the room and lit a timid candle. The men sat, waiting. The phantom dog lay cuddled to a round bundle, asleep down the roadway against the windward side of an old shanty. The spectre's master had moved to Pike County, but the dog lingered, as a friend might linger at the tomb of a friend. His fur was like a suit of old clothes. His jowls hung and flopped, exposing his teeth. Yellow famine was in his eyes. The wind-rocked shanty groaned and muttered, but the dog slept. Suddenly, however, he got up and shambled into the roadway. He cast a long glance from his hungry, despairing eyes in the direction of the venerable house. The breeze came full to his nostrils. He threw back his head and gave a long, low howl and started intently up the road. Maybe he smelled a dead man. The group around the fire in the venerable house were listening and waiting. The atmosphere in the room was tense. The slate-coloured man's face was twitching, and his drabbed hands were gripped together. The little man was continually looking behind his chair. Upon the countenance of the pudgy man appeared conceit for an approaching triumph over the little man, mingled with apprehension for his own safety. 5 pipes glowed as rivals of the timid candle. Profound silence drooped heavily over them. Finally the slate-coloured man spoke. "My old uncle, Jim Crocker, he's sick to death." The 4 men started, and then shrank back in their chairs. "Damn it," replied the little man vaguely. Again there was a long silence. Suddenly it was broken by a wild cry from the room above. It was a shriek that struck upon them with appalling